FightFan.com. What's up? It's your man, Pretty Boy Floyd, the one and only.
Hello to FightFans.com.
FightFan.com.
James Lights Out, Tony.
How you doing?
Okay, we got FightFan.com here with renowned trainer Dan Birmingham. Dan, I read you're a fan of Kelly Pavlik's. What did you think about his rematch against Jermaine Taylor?
I thought he looked great. He boxed well. Jermaine also fought a lot better than he did the first fight, but I think Kelly was just so hungry and so prepared that nothing was going to stop him that night.
What do you think about Winky Wright and how he matches up with Pavlik? I mean, do you like that fight for him?
Yeah, I think Winky's the only one that can beat Pavlik at this point. I think he has the style and the experience, you know, with that great jab of his and the movement. I think he'd give Kelly a lot of problems.
So you think Kelly's seen a style like that before? Or?
No, nobody's seen a style like Winky unless you fight Winky.
So, I mean, would his game plan rely heavily on the jab and his defense? Essentially,
well, definitely.
His strengths?
Wink's the kind of guy right now, and later on in his career, he takes it right to you. He stays in the pocket, and he works the body nice, and he tries to wear you down. And, of course, he's surprising you with the jab every 5 or 10 seconds.
You know, one thing we noticed, I was really blown away. We watched the Winky Taylor fight, and, I mean, it looked to me like Taylor was by far the bigger guy, but I mean, you know, I was sort of watching that, and I'm looking at Winky and kind of thinking he's invincible with that style he's got. Did you? I mean, how did you think that fight went? The Winky Taylor fight?
I thought we won at least 8 rounds, maybe 9 rounds. I don't know what the judges was looking at to give us a draw like that. I mean, you saw how dejected Wink was after the fight. He knew he won the fight, and Taylor, with his head down before they announced the decision, with the Bella and everybody's heads down, they thought for sure Wink was going to get the decision, and he should have.
Yeah, that's right. Who else? I mean, if this Pavlik fight doesn't come off right away, who else would you like to see Winky with in the near future here? Who makes a good fight for him?
I don't know. They were talking about Kessler, Miranda. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Wink will fight anybody. It doesn't really matter at this point.
So he's feeling comfortable going up above 160 again?
Yeah, I think he could fight at 68 comfortably. I mean, our ideal weight is 60, of course, but I mean, if the big fight's there at 68, I think Wink would take it.
Did you think, I mean, in the Hopkins fight, how would you assess his performance in that fight?
Well, I mean, the cut was a big factor early on. The cut took a lot of steam out of him, I thought. But I thought Wink fought well, and I thought the fight myself was a draw.
Yeah, so did I. Do you think, I mean, is that kind of getting to the limits of how high he can go? I mean, do you think the weight played a factor into his performance at all? Or?
Well, sure, it played a factor somewhat. I mean, Wink would probably come in at 65 or 66 if he fought at 68. But that 170-pound class, and of course Bernard Hopkins had something to do with it. The weight did affect him.
Were you surprised at Hopkins? I mean, how effective he was as well? I mean, were you?
No, I haven't. I followed Bernard his whole career, and he always seems to come up with some kind of game plan to nix a person's strengths.
Do you think that Winky's done at 154 then? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, unless Oscar steps up, and Wink would have to shed some weight, but unless it's De La Hoya, I think, yeah, he's done at 54.
There's an interesting card in the Tampa area coming up here with Tarver and Woods and Johnson and Dawson. I mean, who do you have in the Tarver-Woods fight, and how do you see that going down?
I think Tarver should win, but I don't think it's going to be easy. And I think with the Dawson fight, Chad should win also. If he boxes Dawson and doesn't have any laps in his offense like he does sometimes, I think he'll be fine.
What do you think about the upcoming Calzaghe-Hopkins fight? I know you've trained against both those guys. How do you see it playing out?
I like Calzaghe. I like Calzaghe in that fight. He's a master of distance and timing. I don't think he's going to get caught in the traps that Hopkins sets, and I think he'll come out on top.
I mean, having trained against Calzaghe, I mean, we underrated him big time, and that was just partially because it was hard to gauge what level he was at. I mean, did he surprise you in the Lacey fight? I mean, did he bring more than you guys expected?
Well, not really. I mean, Jeff was just lethargic and out of his fight plan totally for some reason, unknown reason we still can't figure out. But Calzaghe, no, he didn't surprise me. He's never lost as an amateur. He hasn't lost since he was 8 or 9 years old. So it's just amazing.
Do you think that was a little bit more of Calzaghe, I mean, Lacey sort of underperforming that made Calzaghe look that good in that fight? Is that dominant?
Well, that could be a factor there. I just thought Calzaghe was really on the tip top of his game, and Jeff wasn't on his game at all.
What else? Who else do you have coming up here in the gym? Is there anybody the fight fans should be watching out for?
Oh, sure. We got a good heavyweight in Lenroy Thomas. We got a featherweight, Kermit Gonzalez. All these guys are going to make a stink with Inca Lale, a middleweight, real good guy, and Adam Hubinger, who's 11-0 with 10 knockouts. He's from the Czech Republic. These guys are all somebody to watch.
Is there anything else you have to say to the fight fans out there, Dan?
And I don't want to forget about Keith Thurman, who I help with Ben Getty, who's one hell of a talent, and was a top amateur and just missed the Olympic team by one fight with Andre, who he had beaten before. So he's another one to watch.
All right, thanks a lot, Dan.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Joe.
No worries.